4 weekends to go, everyone. This is going to be an insane run to the championship finish. Welcome back. Now, it is Saturday and spring qualifying has happened and practice one has obviously just wrapped up as well. So I am late. So I'm going to just give it a little, do a little dive into practice and the spring quali. And then we can give the rest of our predictions for the weekend. Now, I did write up the predictions before, so any predictions that I make are of me before the weekend started. So, spring qualifying was pretty interesting. Piastri obviously was the one to look for for me, obviously, personally, but he didn't. I felt like he had better pace in practice than what he's shown in the sprint qualifying. Norris, obviously, following his form, has pulled another one out of the bag and is looking immaculate. But the big surprise is Max Verstappen. It is just the sprint. So maybe more of a wet setup that they went for. I'm not sure, but the car just wasn't there. It wasn't there for Tsunoda as well. Even for his standards, he probably underperformed too. So Tsunoda was a no. And then Mercedes was the next big jump, and this is critical for them in this constructors. So they want to get that second place. They ought to keep this form up because they were quick, and their qualifying results do show that as well. So, but yeah, practice pretty mundane. Weather was okay. I was expecting more rain because from what I looked at on the radar, the weather was going to be a bit shoddy, and it definitely held up okay compared to what it usually would or what it has in the past. So honestly, like surprising from Brazil into Lagos there, but it's good. I'd rather a dry race personally for me, because we want to see now with the championship battle this close, we want to see who the best is, not based on, a lucky pit stop. Yes, that happens in motorsport. That can lead to outcomes, but me personally, I'd rather see who's the best driver, who's the best car, and who will deserve the championship will win it. That's probably what I want to see, as opposed to, hang on, we get a few safety cars and all of a sudden we have a couple of DNFs or, a huge undercut, something like that. So that's personally what I'd rather see. The Ferraris had pace in sprint qualifying. That it was weird. They seemed like they were going to be more up the order, and then Hamilton in Q2 just didn't get his lap off. It was very, very strange, and I thought he had the car to make Q3 and potentially qualify a little bit better, but I don't know what happened there. They just didn't put it together, I guess, in the second qualifying. Bortoleto also, the home man. I was looking at snaps of him walking in, and it's awesome to see them have a home driver and be able to celebrate such a good young driver, because he's an absolute gun, mate. He's a gun. And unfortunately, didn't have the car beneath him today. Obviously, he looked pretty good in the first qualifying, and he was asserting himself, but then in the second qualifying, he didn't get his lap off, and he's going to start down the order behind Hulk, I think. Yeah, because Hulk made Q3. Yeah. Hulk 10th and Bortoleto 14th. And the other one I wanted to talk about, Sainz. My gun, Carlos Sainz has fucked it, and he's qualified 20th. I don't know what the hell was going on with him. He was completely off the pace. I don't know whether it was a car issue or anything like that, but he came into the qualifying and did absolutely fuck all. You wouldn't even recognize if he wasn't there. So, very unfortunate for him. Who else do we want to talk about? Behrman and Haas. Ocon, they were all nowhere. I mean, the best performers were, you really going to take Aston Martin, who were sitting on top of the leaderboard for a little bit in qualifying, which is crazy. Alonso is doing wonders, and now as I'm going to talk about the constructors battle in a minute, Aston Martin looking pretty good, you would say. They are very, very quick this weekend, and then you'd probably go Racing Bulls and Sauber. But yeah, Alonso was leading in qualifying for a little bit. He was at the top, but unfortunately It is only a P5. But hey, that's awesome. Awesome result. So that's sort of what happened in qualifying. Obviously, the Mercedes were awesome, and the McLarens, they had a bit bigger of a gap in practice, though. The McLarens, in practice, they looked head and shoulders above, but then in qualifying, that gap has reduced a fair bit. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in actual qualifying. Now, the track. Let's go to the rest of the weekend predictions. The track rating for me, this is one of the classic OG tracks that you want on the calendar. You never want it to leave. A sprint weekend, although it's getting replaced as a sprint, sad news there, but Interlagos is just one of the... You cannot, hate this track for any reason whatsoever. It is just the atmosphere, how it's, tucked into the city, and... the fans are berserk. The track layout's awesome. It's bumpy. The weather's unpredictable. It's just infamous. The aura is just insane there, buds. So definitely a 9 out of 10 track there for me. Now, as I said, with the weather, as I read this, it's an 86% probability of a safety car. So that's pretty much saying, yeah, there's going to be a safety car. For a series or a season that hasn't really had a lot of safety cars, that's pretty remarkable to have an 86% probability of a safety car. Obviously, last year we had the Alpine double podium, which granted them $40 million supposedly. So there's always some nonsense going on here. There's always some randomness. So I'm looking forward to the main race. What else did we have? There was some stats on the F1 website that I was looking at. They were in the last 7 years. So in the last 7 years, that's what it was going off, 86% safety car probability. But few questions. I wanted to talk about the Constructors' Championship. So you got Ferrari, Merc, and Red Bull separated by 12 points, I believe. 12 points. Who will come out? If Max has a dominating weekend the next, and goes on to win the championship, I could see a world where Verstappen wins that fight by himself. Because, I don't think he'd get any points from Tsunoda there. But also, Ferrari and Mercedes are just way too hard to pick with their volatility. Ferrari, who knows if they're going to be Merc? Who knows if they're going to be good? They've just shown this year that their car isn't good in certain really predictable conditions that we can say definitively, yep, oh yeah, Merc's going to be good. Merc, we've got a bit more of a clue. Ferrari, we've got absolutely no fucking idea when they're going to be good. And it's honestly, it makes for an exciting title, second place fight. But yeah, I wouldn't also be surprised if Max wins that fight. And then down for 6th, you've got Aston, Racing Bulls, Haas, and Sauber. That's also a 12-point battle. Now, racing, it's also another hard pick. But at the moment, especially with how Aston is going and their form, I'd say they're run of the field to win that battle. They're looking like they've probably got the best pace. Then it's probably Racing Bulls, Haas, Sauber for me. I don't know. The Sauber is just not consistent enough, but they never seem to have both drivers firing at once. It's sort of like Williams, where it's one of them will have a good weekend, then the other one will have a good weekend. They can never both have a good weekend. They can never both have a good weekend at the same time. So for me in that battle, it's going to be, Aston, Racing Bulls, Haas, Sauber. Tops for the second in the championship, it's probably going to be Ferrari, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. That's what I'm going for. So those are the two big constructor battles. My predictions for the weekend. Let's look at my predictions for the weekend, because I did make predictions before the sprint quali and practice, and my predictions aren't looking good so far. But it's only sprint, so qualifying's not on just yet. Verstappen to win and pole. I thought Verstappen has had a remarkable run at this track. He's always fucking quick. If the rain hits, the Red Bull is going to come alive. Surely. And Verstappen takes it. And then class drive, I went for Bortoleto for the hometown hero. He's due. Surely, like, I feel like F1 tracks are never kind to their countrymen. Like, obviously, you've got Lewis and Silverstone, which is a bit of an exception. But I don't know. Like, I feel like regular run-of-the-mill drivers, home tracks are just never kind. Obviously, it's more fun for me with, like, it hits home when you see, like, Ricciardo, Piastri, Webber. Australians don't get to see that, which is unfortunate. Hopefully next year. But I don't know. I really want Bortoleto to do well this weekend. Hopefully, he can squeeze into the points for the Brazilians. That would be phenomenal. I'd love to see it. Who else have we got? That's pretty much all we've got to cover. Verstappen, yeah. But looking forward to the sprint tonight. It's going to be 1 a.m. for Australian time, 5 a.m. for the main qualifying. I guess, does things change? Do things change after the sprint race? I mean, we know that the cars do come out of Parc Ferme after the sprint race. So that means that they're able to tune and change the setups. So we could see, potentially the spread of the field tighten or get looser, or Verstappen comes up, maybe they realize, fuck, it's not going to be wet anymore, or maybe they realize, right, we're going to go a different direction. And, you never know. You never know. So don't necessarily take the sprint as a definitive, oh shit, Verstappen's in trouble, because we know you can always come back. And especially seeing that they do come out of Parc Ferme, expect things to change. So that's all for the preview, all right. Get keen, 4 rounds to go. We're looking forward to see what happens, and enjoy the sprint.